Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. The biggest issue for a marketer today is measuring data on various platforms and specifically digital. Megan Clarken, President Product Leadership, Nielsen, speaks to us about effectively capturing consumers on various platforms. Let's take a look at this conversation to understand how is Nielsen simplifying measurement for its clients.
Megan, you referred to measurement as a team sport. Can you expand on that, please?
Yeah. In the past, we've measured by using passive measurement or panels. And because of fragmentation now, in order to capture the audiences everywhere they go, particularly across digital devices, we have to now have the broadcaster and the publisher install software in order for us to measure.
Right.
So measurement now becomes an industry challenge of which everybody has to participate. And so I call it a team sport because it needs everybody to lean in order to measure effectively.
Going with that is some of the players may not be team players. Is that a problem you see?
Well, I think everybody wants to be measured. What we hear is everybody needs to be measured. And the most important thing is the advertiser wants to make sure that there's consistent measurement in place. It's not easy to be measured, and so we work very closely with our clients to make sure that we're giving them the state-of-the-art software in order to be measured. And there are different players that are at different stages of measurement, but the most important thing is that we get to a state where the industry is measured in a comparable way in order to help understand audiences across platforms, to be able to show the advertiser where to advertise, and ultimately that they got what they paid for.
Right. You know, the last time I spoke to somebody from Nielsen was a year ago, and we spoke about total audience.
Yeah.
So carry me through total audience and where you reach in the last 1 year.
Yeah. So total audience is a huge initiative of Nielsen's. It's basically about measuring the consumer across platform, across all devices, across all access points, regardless of the advertising models, and across both advertising and content. So it's about consuming or capturing the consumer everywhere and being able to measure. And so we've been working on this initiative for the last 3 years. And in the US, we've just rolled out a very big portion of it called Total Content Ratings, which is a measurement of audiences to content across platforms.
When we measure on TV, you don't have privacy issues. When you measure on digital, do you have privacy issues? And I'm consuming on my phone, and then how do you get to know that I'm consuming?
So what we do is we install software into the video player on the phone. And so when you download the application from the content owner, you consent to being measured. Right. And so once that consent is done, then we're able to collect the activity or the viewership of that content on the mobile device or on the PC and use it to include into the rating service.
So as opposed to TV, which is panels, this is close to census.
It is census, exactly right. We're counting every single view which is happening.
And how frequently does the marketer get hold of this data? Is it real time?
Yeah, so it's published through user interfaces in the same way that the TV ratings data is done today. It's an extension of the TV ratings, if you like. It's published to the broadcaster and publisher, it's published to the agency, and it's published to the advertiser. So they get access to it through the reports that we produce.
Right. While on digital, one of the big challenges today we are talking about is viewability, where again you spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
So first help my viewer and define viewability, and then we talk about viewability.
Yeah, so viewability is about whether or not the person actually saw the advertising campaign. And when you think about that on a TV screen, if the ad was aired and the person was in front of that ad for at least half of the ad, then we count it in terms of the ratings. On a digital device, it becomes more complicated because an ad can appear below the fold for a display advertising, or it can be in a window, which is not the window that's the front window that you're seeing, or you can skip past the ad, or the entire ad hasn't rendered on the screen. So when it comes to digital, the question of viewability becomes very complicated. And then you add to that cross-platform measurement, which has to produce a comparable metric between TV and digital advertising. That's the arguments that you're starting to see unfold around viewability standards.
So more than just the viewability, we're talking ad fraud and all other issues. So the marketer is deluged with these issues. I think he's grappling with it. So tell us what Nielsen is doing and what the industry is doing to help sort out this viewability issue.
So it's an incredibly complex issue, and for us it's a hygiene metric. So basically when we report out who saw the ad, how many times they saw it, and because you buy based on age and gender. We report out age and gender of the consumer. So inside of the measurement, we have to make sure that we exclude any invalid traffic or fraudulent traffic, and so we have ways in which we can identify fraud. We have to make sure that the advertising was seen, so it was above the fold and the pixels were exposed and there was a person in front of it. And then we add to it the demographics in order to be able to show the advertiser that they actually got what they paid for. So it's intrinsic in the advertising measurement, is that we're getting the hygiene metrics in place first and foremost, and then producing the audience results.
This is just a sort of tip for the marketer who's watching the show. If you were a senior marketer today of a FMCG company or a car company or something, how much time would you spend on measurement in a day?
How much time do you spend on it?
Should you or...
Yeah, look, I think measurement is key. I think there are so many variables now in terms of your marketing mix, is that in order to place the right amount of promotion or advertising in the right place, we have to use research, we have to use measurement in order to make those decisions. Measurement is getting more complex. What Nielsen is trying to do is simplify that as much as possible, bring comparability to the marketer so that they can make those decisions, so that they can look at their mixed models and know exactly where to spend those dollars and exactly how to read the reports in terms of understanding what was effective. And that's what we're focused on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Megan.
All right, pleasure.
And welcome to India.
Thank you, Anand.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.